You know, chums, we often say, don't we, how politics and show business really don't mix. Of course, that is unless, well, you know, there are major A-list names. I mean, when you think back to the Golden Greats, of course, we had the likes of the brilliant Frank Sinatra, well, basically getting very political alongside Kennedy until they fell out and then he smashed up the helipad and you know how that went anyway, don't you? But the thing is, in this modern day age, everybody's a protester, everybody's angry and everybody's trying to ruin the very few sort of, well, bits left of what we call entertainment. And once again, and you know, as I say, I often say this, I get very annoyed because you just go out for a night, say at the theatre or the cinema, you don't want to be lectured, hectored on all that rubbish, but they always turn it into something. And it's always the people that are not interested in the show, can't be bothered to buy a ticket, but storm it, you know the ones I mean. And you know, I'd love them to see you storming one of my shows. You know what, I'd soon get shot of them, you know what I'm saying, chums? Well, this happened literally a couple of days ago. Let me tell you the inside track on it as ever. Morning, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Now, when you think about the, sorry, we'll have a lovely wave. When you think about the sort of big things, the big shows, particularly over here in the United Kingdom that are still running, Phantom is still going, and I know Phantom's coming back, I believe, to Broadway, Phantom of the Opera. And then, of course, you have all of those other things I mentioned, Sunset Boulevard, picking up quite a few Tony noms and, you know, awards. I just like the original, you know, to see something like Nicole Scherzinger just in a black outfit on stage all time, covered in blood. That's not really what the film's about, is it? But of course it saves a lot of money, you know. This is the problem. One of the biggest selling shows ever in the history of musical theatre is Les Miserables. Oh yes, I could tell you a story about that. 6 weeks flag waving in the West End. That was boring. The things you do for a paycheck, chums, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, many people I know love Les Mis, and there's some beautiful songs in there, but for me, it's a little bit depressed. A lot of smoke, a lot of flag waving, you know what I mean? I like the zest of things like Mamma Mia, yes, Grease, Saturday Night Fever, sing along for toe tapping, you know? Now, toe tapping the other night at the Kennedy Center in Washington was none other than the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, alongside his beautiful wife, Melania. And they attended a gala presentation of Les Miserables. Brave. And the thing is, the media have basically said, oh, you know, there was lots of booing and there were drag queens outside, you know, trying to disrupt and everything. And the president basically said, you know, he was just here to support the production and raise it on the profile. And he was simply busy having a night at the theatre, but, you know, busy running the country. Rightly so, politics aside, nobody's interested. The right thing to do. What's interesting, and this is where I find this really fascinating, is all of the cast members would not come out and either support or condemn, you know, whichever. Ultimately, that becomes problematic. What's really interesting, though, is this. All thanks to the worldwide publicity of Mr. Trump and the First Lady's visit, President Trump, I should say, and the First Lady's visit is now their box office is ring-a-ding-ding, right? They're doing incredibly well because now people want to see the production that apparently people were booing at. What's interesting is, and this is where I have the inside track, don't believe everything you read, as I've often said to the mainstream media. The videos that I've seen that are off kilter, you know, off the post as it were, you know, a lot of boos and negativity have been added to the master track. They do this, we know they do this, and I'm not political, I'm not Donald's side, I'm not the other side, I'm just telling you what they do. I've seen them do this at pop concerts before. And the thing is, without that, they don't have a story. But what's truly backfired, and I think this is very funny, in fact, is that now, well, all these political nonsense have come forward, and now what they're going to do, because by his mere presence, he's made the whole thing a virtual sellout. He should have gone to visit George Clooney. That might have worked, don't you think? But on the other side of the coin, Donald wasn't on his own, as the famous song said. It looks like, of course, he created a night of celebration. And for that, in this very indelicate time, cost of living crisis, surely they should be grateful in the world of theatre that he did that. What do you think? And is it right to disrupt performances simply because of your political leanings? And if they were sat next to you, what would you do? Particularly if you're munching a Magnum, you get the picture. Neil Shawn, Kensington, London.